All right. Welcome back. We got another special guest in the building.
Well, that does come in handy. All right.
Today, we talk about... Yeah, so the Camp0ut. Mikey Dab, welcome.
Well, what's going on, bud?
Yeah, dude. So I've been trying to make this happen for like almost a year now, I think.
He's lying. I definitely was like, oh, you want me to come up? I'm there. Don't worry.
But yeah, no, I'm super happy to have you, man. This is going to be fun because like usually, and I'm trying to remember what episode this is. I always lose count, but...
Does it matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. They'll find out when they're listening. But yeah, Mike, I've come to know first online, and then I would say you're my first YouTube personality that I met in person.
Really?
Ever? Yeah, I think. Yeah.
It was sneakers though, so like.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, sneakers are a big deal for us, right? So it was kind of cool to like start following you. So you have the Camp0ut channel, and I actually first started finding out about you from back when I first started collecting.
Are you going to say what I think you're going to say?
I don't know.
What are you going to say? I
Reebok Ventilator, the street meat video, and I saw you doing the interview with Extra Butter, and then that kind of got me into the whole channel as far as like your releases, and then now you're doing the breakdown, and then this was back in the bare bones era of the breakdown.
That was the first episode.
Was it?
That was the very first episode. Yeah. I was like, you guys want to do it? They're like, sure. Like, how many of you? I was like, I don't have any subscribers. I'm just doing a video. I like the shoe.
Yeah, and your subscriber base wasn't anything really, and
it's still nothing.
Yeah, and it's pretty decent. You're coming in on 10K now, right? On YouTube, right? But I mean, your Instagram is way bigger of a deal. So I should plug you in the beginning because I found out that people tune out within minutes.
Oh, like 5 or 6 minutes, I think is like the standard.
Yeah, so let's tell them where we can find you. So the Camp0ut with a 0 on Instagram.
That is 100% correct.
As well as YouTube, right?
Yes.
Are you on anything else?
Twitter, but
not really. Okay.
I don't know. I don't really tweet.
Yeah, me neither. Not my thing. But yeah, so your Instagram following is definitely a lot bigger. So I imagine you've probably just been at it longer, or
I engage a lot more on the Instagram. Okay. Like I talk to like the DM's always empty. Like no matter who hits me up about what, I answer.
Got it.
Even if it's negative, and I come back with a comment. It's just clear always.
Right.
So I feel like that's definitely like a reason why people are always like, oh, just hit them up on Instagram.
Right. And you probably started way earlier. I want to say what, 2013-ish, maybe earlier?
I started on Mikey Dab. That was like my original. And then I was always camping out. And they were like, oh, you camping out? And I was like, That's a nice ring to it. So like I wound up like transitioning to the Camp0ut with with an O first, and then I switched to the 0. It was like a whole thing, but that was probably like 13. Yeah, 2013, 2014, around there.
I think that's definitely a factor too, because it was way less saturated, especially for sneaker YouTube or sneaker Instagram or whatever, sneaker culture. I mean, obviously the culture was always there, but as far as like publicizing and social media, it was like a whole different ballgame, right? So I came in at that time. So I started collecting hardcore 2016 and then didn't really know what the fuck I was doing until maybe 2017. So
well, when you say hardcore, I'm going to start interviewing you now. When you say like hardcore, like when you come in, I think it's more, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, it's more of like a passion thing where you're like, oh, I really like that. I really like those. Oh, those are dope. And you're like, oh, I'll buy those. And then you buy, and then it's like a snowball effect where you're like, oh shit, every week I'm buying a shoe. What the fuck's going on? But that is theoretically what happens.
Yeah. And obviously, everyone collects for different reasons. You guys, what's impressive, so every week you guys have a breakdown show every Thursday at 8 p.m. Don't be late. Don't know my voice. I wish you would still do the intro.
I miss those, by the way. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, KB, I love that you're doing it now, but yeah, it's not the same. It's not the same. No shade, though.
There's definitely controversy on that opener.
But no, it's a cool dynamic you guys have going on. Every week, every Thursday, going over the releases and then going over topics. Basically, almost like a podcast format. I feel like you guys should maybe turn it into more of a podcast.
I was asked a couple times by the two of them, Tone of My Voice and KB1ACK23, if you're looking for them on Instagram, plug shamelessly.
Word.
About doing the podcast. I'm like, it's just another thing I have to do.
No, but I'm saying like the breakdown. Why don't you turn the breakdown into just a weekly podcast?
I could just take the audio out and just throw it up, right?
Yeah.
I guess.
Honestly.
I just don't. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah, no, it is work. Like even this, like I'm so over editing and fucking, dude. Yeah, you know the deal. So it's just like I'm so over it. And you guys go out on all these picture adventures and all that kind of shit. And that's time consuming in and of itself. So
I picked up a lot more on my photography. Like I love doing. That's like another thing I love doing. I just like taking pictures. So it turned into a little bit of a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, oh, I really like your photos. And like because I like doing it, I don't really charge people that much until like somebody need something of special magnitude, then of course I have to charge. But like 9 times out of 10, it's free. So like I'll go out, and then all of a sudden I see it's like 3 a.m. and I'm still editing photos.
Yep.
I'm like, and then I'm editing video. I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, no, I get it. So I started to outsource that to some editors. I've got an editor now who
Plug me.
puts right.
Plug me, please.
He puts up all the stuff for me. Oh, goddamn, so annoying. So I have to. If you know an audio guy that knows, like this is. Yeah, this is like the Apple version of like a soundboard. It's like very simplified, so even a dummy like me can use it. But like for some reason, I can't figure out why. Sometimes, like you were here, sometimes it's instant works, and then sometimes it takes a delay. And I guarantee you, in like another half hour, as we're still talking, it'll be back to like real time again. So I don't know what the issue is. Yeah,
it's very weird.
But anyway, so yeah, I have this editor now, and he actually does all the podcasting stuff. So like I just send him the audio and the visuals, and he chops them up and puts them into bits, and then does the whole uploading to all the podcast app stuff and blah 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 blah. Yeah, I don't even want to deal with that.
We're
stuff,
gonna get in touch real soon. After
John, he'll be in touch.
Hey John, what's up, buddy? Nice to meet you.
I actually just interviewed him for I think my second to last episode I did of this, but yeah, super nice guy. But this is not about him. This is about you. So let's go back to you real quick.
John, we're still good.
Yeah. I actually wanted to maybe do a second episode of this kind of thing with you, just dedicated to the topic of sneaker YouTube history.
Ooh.
Because someone asked me to do that kind of video, and I felt like this would be a great like podcast type of episode where we go through the history of how it evolved. And I'm trying to remember just off the top of my head how I found myself into it, because before I even bought my first pair of like sneakers, I was just consuming sneaker YouTube. And I want to say it started from just a straight up DJ Khaled complex closet tour. And I was just like, what the fuck is this Beauty and the Beast library type of shit with the red ladder and just like this beautiful setup is just gorgeous. And I'm just like, wow, that's something I want. And then
That's scary, by the way. It's scary.
Next thing you know, I'm watching every complex sneaker shop in like the early ones. Next thing I know, that leads me in, right. That leads me into United Souls and fucking.
I was hoping you were gonna bring that. One. I thought you were gonna start off with those.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. And also, what else? And that led to Sneaker Addict, fucking Foamer Simpson, like you name all these earlier on guys that were like.
Foamy was definitely the reason why I started watching YouTube, because I was like, I really like the runner scene, and nobody was really doing runners, which is hard because like everybody has a Nike. Nike. So he would do like these backyard style like reviews. I remember his Miami review was like on the fence, and it was like the shoes were on the fence, and he was like on a picnic table. I was like, what is going on? But I love that shoe, so it kind of like hooked me. And then I started doing YouTube because I was missing the fundamentals of why buy a shoe.
Right.
Like, I can watch you, sure, but I want to see the product I want to spend my money on, especially when resale was really starting to kick up then. And it was like, all right, well, $300, $450, $550, $600 for a pair of shoes. Where can I find out about it before I spend that kind of money? Do I really like the color blocking? Does it look comfortable? Is it worth purchasing? Like, nobody does that. So, like, I was like, you know what? You don't need me. You need the shoe. So that's my style.
Right. No, it's definitely dope, and I definitely watched a few of yours just for that reason. And then you get these newer age. I mean, just skipping obviously years ahead. Now you got these newer age guys that have pretty much perfected it. We're talking like your Sean Goes, your Seth Fowlers. Like they have just made essentially a living off of just impeccable visuals, along with talking technical details and all these other things, which I don't find personally that important for me. It's just like, does it have some component of storytelling and inspiration to it that I enjoy, and do I really like it? That's what I'm going to go for. So materials and this and that everyone else focuses on, I get it, but because it's not a priority for me, it's not something I focus on my channel. It's more just like, let's goof off and talk shoes. For me, it's more like the history of the shoe.
There you go. See your box up. Just
right.
It's sitting there, staring at you, mocking everyone. It's
right. Little Mars. No, I've just been too lazy to put it away. I'm running out of space, man. You'll see the shoe room in a minute, but yeah, man. It's just that's just how I got into it. Was just like consuming all this fucking sneaker content. Next, you know, the Kaius Omars and the Sneakerhead Be Like series, and then and the olden days where he's doing like the goofy shit with like the blindfold. Guess the sneakers. It's just like it was at that. Like I find it a little cheesy now. But at the time, I loved it because like it taught me about shoes. Like I was learning about shoes from Kai's, just from him goofing off with his friends, because his friends don't know jack shit about sneakers. Probably still don't. But like it's just funny. Like that's how I was learning. Okay, this is what a Jordan 12 is. This is what a Jordan 10 is. Like I was like just my basic knowledge of like, okay, how do I recognize the silhouettes and all that kind of stuff.
Google.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying this was like I consume more from an audiovisual perspective. So like YouTube was perfect for that, right? Yeah. So I'm trying to think of who else was kind of on that. Franlations and who else was kind of a Hess Kicks, obviously. And then there was someone else
Sneakerhead in the
that
Bay.
fell off. Sneakerhead in the Bay. Who was it? Dan Tier Zero, part of this United Soul series.